Time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's The State of Crypto newsletter. Hi, Nick. So, want to get an update from you on the infrastructure bill going through the Senate and what kind of amendments may have been made. The negotiations are going around the clock.
Yeah, so last night, Senator Rob Portman, who is widely believed to be the author of the crypto provision, sent out a tweet thread defending the provision as, worded, said that he doesn't intend to capture miners or other, non-broker, non-custodial entities. It's still unclear whether or not he intends to put this language in the bill itself, which, is kind of like the big thing, right? It's what's the letter of the law versus what's the intent of the law. So I think we're waiting on that. We do know that Senators Ron Wyden, Pat Toomey, and Cynthia Lummis are working on an amendment that presumably would create some sort of clarity here, either narrowing the language or, modifying it in some other way to specify who gets covered and who isn't covered. And we're, the amendment process is continuing. My understanding is that, we might see votes on the actual bill to, close the amendment process later in this week or possibly by the weekend. So we have maybe 2-3 more days to keep an eye out and see where things land.
Nick, what do you think was the most notable takeaway from Gensler's remarks?
So yesterday he said a lot of stuff about, how the SEC is approaching this. He's got a number of priorities, around crypto. But I'm not sure much of what he said was new exactly, right? He's been kind of beating this drumbeat on regulation and how he thinks the SEC could approach this for a couple months now, and his refrain is that Congress has to give him either specific definitions of what he can and cannot look at, or otherwise broaden its authority so that the SEC can tackle all the issues it wants to tackle. And he hinted at different things like ETF approvals, and said that he finds Bitcoin futures-based ETFs more interesting and compelling than possible actual Bitcoin-based ETFs. So that could be something to be keeping an eye out on. He said they're going to be looking at DeFi. He once again brought up this idea of stable value tokens backed by securities. So he's definitely thinking a lot about this, and I think we're going to have to wait and see what exactly comes out of Congress, or what his conversations with Congress lead to.
All right, Nick, we're going to
there saying that he can't do all of his he can't do it in full regulation until Congress sets some of the at least some of the parameters. Is that your take as well?
That seems to be it. Yeah, I mean, he said this to Congress during some hearings in the last couple of months. So that kind of seems to be he's got this idea of what he thinks the regulation should look like, but he's not sure the SEC currently has all the authority he believes it needs to do so.